under a rock, or you can turn yourself in, but they are ruthless, hungry and in power again.
Hello Internet, and welcome to this week's edition of Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, Not a Threat.
Just a fact.
I'm Lulu, aka the red-headed step-childish Gambino.
I'm Linus.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, Linus, before you just gotta. That's how I'm feeling.
What was
Breaking
that?
a hedge. It was a beer can opening.
Oh, okay. It sounded like a coffee shop doing like snaps, like beat poetry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, everyone, let me see my name again and you all react properly. The red-headed step-childish Gambino.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you.
I'm Linus, a.k.a. Yanny.
Motherfucker.
I'm Alex, aka Paul, George, John, Ringo, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph Watson.
That's so good.
Wow. I'm Josh, aka I got a new mic, Pence. Can you all hear it? How are my plosives?
We got the rare cast on tonight. We got some of the least present cast members, or at least in terms of recency. Well, I guess Linus has been on a lot lately, so
This is
you don't
episode
count.
7, I think.
It's like a blue full moon eclipse, red star in the sky.
Now we're just missing Andy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm always missing Andy.
true.
We are all be missing Andy. Andy will someday be on a second episode, but until then, I am the only host who has co-hosted with everyone.
No need to brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This isn't
no,
Pokemon.
there is. Yes, it is. I've collected them all. So what's been up with you guys, Allie, Josh? What's up?
I've just been in a coma for 5 weeks.
Same.
Okay.
I edited the last episode, and it was so good that I just immediately passed out.
Y'all ever record a podcast so good that you are immediately forced to go into a long sleep?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, actually, I have been asleep just every time we've recorded a podcast. I'm like Sleeping Beauty. A prince came into my castle, gave me a kiss, and now I can record again.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking. I was thinking more along the lines of you're just like sleep talking, but it corresponds perfectly with whatever we're saying, just like completely coincidentally.
I constantly listen to stuff when I'm trying to sleep, so I like often have dreams where I'm just people talking. So I'll listen to like a podcast and I'll dream whatever they're saying. So maybe.
I do that, except it's with Stephen King audiobooks.
Oh jeez.
I had some really weird dreams when I was listening to the It audiobook. And I would just like dream what was happening in the book, and if you know what happens in the book, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
You would dream.
You dream about that ending with the kids.
Yeah.
That was cut out of the
Don't
movie.
say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for good reason. For extremely
bad.
good reason. Like, I cannot believe that, like 95% of that book I would consider, like a classic, and then there's 5% of that book that is children having an orgy to escape from a clown.
That's all Stephen King. Stephen King is like 90% like genius, and then 10% just like creepy sex pervert.
Teens fucking.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to like know when.
Actually, Misery was more like about 90% weird sex pervert.
Yeah.
Stephen King really wants his ankles broken.
I feel like you can get halfway
That's
through
why he
Stephen
play-
King.
That's why he plays so much basketball. Sorry, go on.
You can get through a Stephen King book and like know if he was high when he wrote this or if he was sober.
He
Because
apparently,
it's-
he
it's just
doesn't
off the
remember
wall.
writing Cujo at all.
What?
Apparently, he does not remember writing Cujo. He likes it, but does not remember 1 second of writing it because of how high he was.
Maybe he didn't write it.
Richard Bachman wrote it.
Yeah, it was
Stephen King is like one of the few current authors with a book on the banned books list, right? Like one of the few current writing authors.
What's banned?
Rage.
I haven't read that one.
When the
Well, you're not allowed to.
I want to say it was the one of the Columbine shooters, but I can't say for sure.
Ew.
That book is about like I believe it's about a school shooting, and then it was found among the possessions of one of the Columbine shooters. I think I'm gonna double check this while we talk about our next topic. But and so in response to that, they just like banned the book.
Huh.
He wrote it under the name Richard Bachman, I believe. So
Yeah, that's his alter ego, the Dark Half.
Yeah.
Where he writes thinner and just uses that G word like 72 times.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, this whole episode is just going to be about Stephen King.
I can talk
you
for
asked
a whole
for it.
hour about Stephen King.
Yeah,
We're making it happen. I've never read a single one of his books, so you're just going to have to, if you guys could just tell me the whole plot of Cujo or whatever you're talking about.
there's a really mad dog.
Start from the beginning.
It's Beethoven, but he's evil.
Oh,
I was
Are you saying Beethoven wasn't evil?
Well, less.
I was wrong, by the way. It was not Columbine. It was like there were like 6 different incidents linked to the book Rage.
Well, it's just like Catcher in the Rye. Doesn't
I was
every
just about to
other
say.
shooter have like Catcher in the Rye, like John Lennon's killer and some other
Yeah,
guy?
Mark David Chapman.
Yeah, there's been like a few really high-profile killers or attempted like assassins who had the Catcher in the Rye and like specifically cited it as an influence, which is weird because the Catcher in the Rye is really not that buck wild of a book. It's just about a kid who's kind of pissed off and angry.
It's just a kid with depression. Like
He's
it was
angsty,
honestly
yeah.
it was my favorite book when I was like 15.
He gets beaten up and then he goes back home.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We are going to take a quick ad break, and then we will get right back to Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Write a Book report. So...
Is this all just because we don't want to talk about what happened this week?
Yeah.
I think it is, because... So, the big story this week, obviously, is... I'm sure you've been seeing it everywhere. The massacre in Gaza of the Palestinian protesters by the Israeli forces, the IDF.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We got is there like even a confirmed body count yet? Or is
Last
it just, like,
one I read was 61,
Yeah.
with 2,700
Jesus.
people shot and injured.
But like, there's no way they're done. Like,
No.
figuring out what happened yet, counting the bodies.
I mean, I think they're just the hardest. I was reading just before we started an article about it, and I think like the hardest thing for me to obviously read, like this is tiny, I'm not experiencing what the Palestinian people are experiencing in any way, but just the fact that a lot of the gunshots were sniper rifles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just open fire, it was premeditated, and the fact that an 8-month-old baby was suffocated by the tear gas.
Yep.
It's impossible to even comprehend, let alone really, like, when you empathize with them, and just the massacre that's happened on the anniversary of the Nakba, the 70 years that there's been conflict, it's just heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I think Amnesty International, while it was happening, was tweeting stuff like, "We are witnessing war crimes," or something like that. It was like,
Yeah.
this is, or tantamount to a war crime. Like, it was, and I remember seeing that while this was going on, that there was like tweets from like Amnesty International, other people like just kind of begging for it to stop and for people to pay attention to it. And like, I guess there has been a lot of like attention paid to it, which is better than I think. I can't remember anything that it happened ever, but I mean, if there's one thing that is not completely horrific to take away from this, it's that like people do seem to be getting properly outraged about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't help but be a little bit defeatist, because I felt like I felt kind of the same way that you did back when this happened, on a smaller scale, albeit in March, I think.
Yep.
When those like 14 protesters, I'm pulling numbers out of my ass. I don't remember the concrete numbers, but when those protesters were shot, when those Palestinian protesters were shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's frustrating because people are getting mad, but which people? You know, it's like a few Democrats here and there, and Amnesty International and a lot of people on Twitter, but like you really don't see even Democrats like speaking out about this. The media is certainly not acting like it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think I saw like Bernie, even he was talking about like Hamas in his tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I Googled it to find information before we started, like, so many headlines were like, they caused this themselves, Hamas's fault. And it's like, can we just talk about how many people were just brutalized before we start putting the blame?
I guess that's the excuse, really. Because, like, I mean, you think about what the mindset must be like of people who think this is the right thing to do. And, like, you know, some of them obviously are, you know, fucking monsters. But, like, you can't possibly see children being shot and think that's a good thing. So I guess the usual, like, excuse is that Hamas is, like, it's all their fault. Like, they're the ones, like, making the children walk into bullets and making the Israeli snipers shoot, you know, unarmed, you know, journalists and doctors, people who are clearly marked.
Rocks. Yeah.
There was so, and, like, that doesn't make any sense. It turns my gut in a way that almost nothing else does. That to see, like, you know, when you go and read the replies on tweets because you're an idiot like me, and the like, it's not even outrage. It's just kind of like high horse smugness that people come with when they're defending the IDF. Yeah. It's always like, oh, I guess you want that, and it's just the most bullshit shit.
It is like, but have you considered that maybe it's a good thing? It's
they talk down like they're patiently explaining their right opinion when they're defending the murder of children.
And I do want to clarify that the official White House position is obviously on the side of Israel here.
Yeah. Well,
we had the fun embassy opening at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was it was way too on the nose.
It was. Well, the image was like of Ivanka and Jared Kushner like smiling and shaking hands, and then someone taking away the wounded or like dead body of their friends.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, I'm really curious what
Banksy couldn't fucking do it better.
Do you remember when Banksy opened that hotel on like the West Bank? I think.
We found out what
Dismaland?
and we found out what he looked like, and he looked exactly like we thought he did.
I love.
You mean just like a really cool dude?
Yeah, he's super cool. He's just a nerdy white guy from Bristol.
He looked like a young Penn Jillette.
Where's Teller?
Teller is presently busy being fooled.
Teller was that skeleton that was on the fucking bumper car going around in circles at Disneyland.
He's lost some weight.
He does. He looks weird though.
Wait, which one's which? Which was the mute?
Teller doesn't speak, and Penn was the one who lost weight.
Okay.
He's the libertarian atheist.
Is he?
Yeah, very much so.
I guess that's what you expect from a magician. Like, no offense to all the magician listeners.
I don't think he's quite as far as to make him like, you know, Jordan Peterson or Ricky Gervais level, but he definitely is like an extremely irritating, like, dude.
Your fave magician is problematic.
I feel like there's like I feel like I occasionally Manchurian candidate my YouTube account to just like show me things, because like every 6 months I swear I'm like browsing YouTube at 2 a.m. because I can't sleep, and I scroll down like 2 pages and it's like, watch Penn and Teller fool us. Like every 6 months on the dot my YouTube account is recommending me to watch Penn and Teller.
Mine is like, lately it's been recommending like normal stuff from other channels I subscribe to, and then like SJW Fat People Fails, and I'm like, cool, thanks YouTube.
Jeez. I have to watch Family Guy videos on incognito mode, otherwise like they'll jump right on that, and just my Rex will be full of Family Guy videos.
So you know you can remove videos from your watch history, right?
I do, but like I don't want to always be doing that. Like my full-time job was removing Family Guy videos from my suggestions. And
why are you watching
do you have to?
Videos?
Yeah. Occasionally I'll see a Family Guy video and I won't think it'll be funny, but I'll have to. It'll be like Stewie's real voice, and I'll be like, well, I have to see what this is about.
They're like FBI agent, like.
You remember the episode where like it turned out Stewie didn't actually have that stupid accent?
And what do you mean they did it in post?
No, like
I've not watched a Family Guy video since the time I watched the video where they did a parody of Bubble Pop by Hyuna, the K-pop song. And it has ruined that song for me, which is it was one of my favorite songs until then. It's ruined that song for me because I know the original song is in Korean, but my brain knows English, so instead of like whatever Hyuna is singing,
it's now Seth MacFarlane's crooner.
It's Seth MacFarlane's very extremely funny lyrics about how Kim Jong-un lives just a couple miles north of us.
Wait, does that mean
Quahog is your home?
Does Seth listen to K-pop?
It was an episode where Quagmire went to marry his online wife, my wife.
Like his Spotify playlist is all Frank Sinatra and then like BTS.
I wonder what kind of scathing commentary Family Guy has on the Gaza situation right now.
Oh, I bet it's good.
If we have any fans, let us know. Well, too bad.
Go check out the Family Guy YouTube channel.
I'm the HKIP Family Guy correspondent.
If American Dad hadn't been canceled, I bet there'd be like some very bad episodes happening right now.
Oh God.
I actually don't mind American Dad.
No, I don't either. But I'm just saying in this current political climate, I think it would just be going for the lowest hanging fruit and never being funny. I think American Dad is the best thing that Seth MacFarlane has done.
Yeah.
I just like it for Roger's little outfits because that's kind of my like ideal life. Is I just have a massive wardrobe full of different costumes.
Style icon.
Do we want to say anything else before we move on from this topic?
It's bad.
I mean,
it's very bad.
I mean, I just wanted to reiterate that, like, the whole, like, blaming Hamas is just a fundamentally shitty and non-argument. And, like,
100%.
And, like, I mean, that's not to say that, like, you know, Hamas is not, like, you know, has done some pretty bad shit.
Yeah.
But Hamas is also entirely Israel's fault. The same way that, like, ISIS is America's fault. Like, it's entirely because the region was destabilized and the people were oppressed that this is what happens. So, like, it just all goes back to Israeli aggression. So
I did see, you know, that Eric Andre meme where he, like, shoots Hannibal and then he goes, who would have done? I literally saw one that was, like, Israel and then Hannibal was Palestine. And then the answer was, why would Hamas do this?
Yeah. Did we talk about how the New York Times had to change their headline?
Oh, no, Yeah,
they posted a story that was, like, you know, 60 Palestinians have died, which is the rhetoric that was being echoed throughout all the fucking news, like just kind of glossing over the fact that they were shot by, you know, snipers. And there was such a hell raised that I think they did change it to like 60 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces.
Finally.
I mean, I think
they do that stuff with the police too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like bullet fell out of cop's gun at such a high velocity that it happened to kill.
Cop accident. You know, and the narrative of like, well, they were no angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's still like someone was killed. It's, you know, this like on a big scale, it's like, well, they were no angels. What do you expect? And it's like, okay, well, 61 people were killed.
Yeah. I mean, like, didn't the U.S. not again block like the UN trying to conduct an independent investigation or like call for an independent investigation into the IDF and what they've been doing?
I think so, and I think like the US walked out of the discussion as well.
Yeah, Nikki Haley walked out just right as who was it had begun to talk.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, more and more world leaders seem to be like getting on board with this because, like, you know, Daddy Trudeau today, did release a fairly centrist, written statement it was like saying like we are horrified by the violence. A Canadian doctor was actually shot and wounded, and a Canadian paramedic was killed in the massacre as they were attempting to, you know, save people. Mm-hmm. And so like that's the thing that I've been hearing over and over again locally. And Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP, like strongly condemned it and has like added Justin Trudeau because he hadn't said anything about it. So they released a statement today that is also like in favor of an independent investigation and condemned the violence. So
yeah, Jazza spoke out against it too and had a pretty strong
immediately.
Yeah. Well, that's not surprising.
Friend of the show, Jazza.
My dad.
So in other news, as a response to the hit new podcast Punch Out the Jam featuring Miel and Demi Adouibe, Nicole Arbour has decided to start her own podcast called Punch Down the Jam, and she has started with Childish Gambino's This Is America.
Oh my god.
So I mean,
Specifically, I want to say This Is America women's edit, which
you know,
can we just like talk like just before we get into like the implications of this, I want to talk about everyone's favorite moments in the video, because I think mine is far and away when she hands like her replacement for the scene in This Is America when Don Glover like shoots the church choir. The replacement for that is her handing a big novelty check to a bunch of cheerleaders, and it says, "Pay to the amount of less than minimum wage."
Yeah, that's mine too.
I think my favorite is when, you know, the opening where he shoots the guy with the bag on. Instead, it's a woman breastfeeding, and she takes a selfie. What does that even mean?
Oh no, I think she takes a picture of the woman breastfeeding. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does that stand for?
Another high moment is the completely inane dancing that she does before handing the check to the to quote Desus Miro, Desus and Miro, they like in her moonwalk, they call it the Neptune walk, and that's not really that far off. And let's see, there's also
the fact it's called This Is America women's edit. Like she didn't even come up with a pun or anything.
This is America. There's rape. This is America. There's rape in my area. That's a good line.
Yeah.
Or the part where she implicates that America sucks because a girl marries a guy and the guy fucks like 10 women, and that's okay.
What?
What?
Like,
who?
In the music video.
Oh.
Okay.
Around nearing the 2-minute mark. But I think my personal favorite is the fact that the movie ends with a still frame the video ends with a still frame that says, "If I were a guy, you wouldn't be asking yourself, I wonder who wrote that," and then a poorly upscaled middle finger emoji.
I mean, when I was watching the Jesus and Mero video, because I'm not watching the real thing, and they were like, at the beginning, they're like, if Solange did this, you could probably get away with it. And it's like, yeah, I would actually kind of appreciate like a black woman's take on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be completely different because that's the whole This Is America is all about like the black experience, and like in a very, 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 very obvious way. Like, so to remove that one part of it.
Can I talk about this guy, like...
Please do.
White mansplaining it to me because it was gorgeous. Because we were talking... He comes up to me and he's like, have you seen the This Is America video? And I was like, yeah. And then...
Was this a complete stranger?
No, this is a guy in my class who I do not like.
Okay.
For this reason. Many reasons, but, you know, this is just the type of guy he is. Mm-hmm. He was like, have you heard about it? And I'm like, yeah, as if I've been living under a rock. And then he says, like, I said, I think it's kind of obvious that it's about, like, black violence in America. And, you know, I've seen all these symbolism videos about it, and it's like, I don't know, you have to be a genius. He's like going to shoot a black person and then go, "This is America." Like,
yeah.
And he goes, "Well, actually, it's about all gun violence."
Oh, no.
I was like,
How?
I literally just walked away because I couldn't deal with it.
Actually, it's about... Did he have an accent like that? Was he like...
Actually.
Did he sound like Crab and or Goyle?
Yeah. He was like,
Linus, you can put all your Family Guy knowledge to good use. Just do your Stewie Griffin impression.
I can't do it. Stewie.
I can't do it.
I can't do it. I'm not Thomas Sanders.
Do it.
I just want to talk about some more things that I like from the music videos, such as the replacement of the repeated line, "Don't catch you slipping up," is replaced with "Don't catch you climbing up," which is great. And like I think she understood the part where like Childish Gambino did like, and like those people did like the cool dance, but didn't understand like the part where there was like some fucked up shit happening behind them. Because like she just has dancers doing like cool dance moves and then nothing happening in the background. Except for, like, at the very end when you can squint and kind of see, like, maybe a cop in the background doing something, but it's very hard to see.
Also, she's very much not doing cool dance moves. Like,
No, she is not.
It's some of the
She
worst
is not.
I've ever seen. I'm not saying I can do better, but
That's why you don't
Yeah.
dance.
yeah.
I think, well, should we get to Nicole Arbour being that bitch who made those fucking, like, Dear Fat People videos?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Let's...
Tell
I
all.
Yeah.
didn't hear
so-
about this.
I think she made, like, a Dear Fat People and a Dear Black People.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
And Dear Trans People.
yeah, that was it. And, like, she was like, Dear Fat People. And obviously, like, no one cares, you know, all the stuff you can imagine someone would say in a video like that, she said. In all of them, pretty much. Like, no one cares, shut up. Blah, blah, blah. And, so she's kind of a fucking... I mean, I think she's a person who's like, I'll do anything for attention, you know? It's clear that this was for attention, because she'll get her name in the fucking... I was going to say the papers. It's not papers anymore. I do live in Victorian London. What's the internet?
She has
The
1.6... She has 1.6k views, and I'm just noticing that I can't see a like-dislike ratio on this video anymore.
Can you disable that?
I don't know, but I don't see it anywhere. Let me just pull. I obviously she disabled comments. Yeah, I can't see her. Like, someone pull up this page. Maybe it's like she just blocked me.
I'm
Someone
gonna pull it up on mobile because I might be able to see it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no it's like blank.
Well, and comments are disabled. I bet you can disable it.
I disliked the video, but it
Yeah,
didn't
me
show
too.
anything.
Yeah, same. It's the same on mobile.
Maybe you can disable that now, huh?
Or maybe it's been disliked so deeply that there's no reason to show the bar.
It broke Google.
Nicole Arbour breaks the internet.
What do you think is like? What do you think is like the most like? What's got like the worst ratio of likes to dislikes for videos that crest 1 million views?
Isn't it the baby
Despacito?
video? I think
It might have actually been surpassed by the baby video by
The baby video?
baby
Yeah,
the Justin Bieber one.
Oh.
no, it was just
It
a
might have been
cute.
surpassed by the Infinite Warfare trailer because gamers get that mad.
Infinite
Imagine if there
Warfare?
The Call of Duty.
Yeah.
COD, bro.
So sorry, I guess I don't know things.
Do you drink?
Yeah, its ratio is 588,000 likes to 3.7 million dislikes.
Woof.
Imagine, I just had the thought, imagine if there was a video of just like a cute baby, but for some reason it had the most dislikes.
That's what I was
I'm
picturing.
just gonna do a quick Google for most disliked video on
Fuck
YouTube.
breeders.
It's probably baby.
Yeah.
No, actually, Gangnam Style surpassed it recently.
Who would do that?
With most
I mean,
dislikes?
just out of sheer mass.
So not the ratio, but the...
No, just out of sheer dislikes. Yeah.
Ellie's so defensive of Gangnam Style.
Whatever, it's fun.
It's a good song.
I mean, it's a good video.
Gangnam Style is number 10.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
So the
It's got
the
some
one
nice
with the
cultural
highest dislike,
commentary.
the highest dislike percentage is a YouTube help video called "Getting Started with YouTube Heroes," which I think was like the system they instituted to make it easier to narc on fellow creators to get their channel strikes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Also in that top 5 of dislike ratios is the Rick Perry Strong ad campaign
Don't know.
Okay.
from 2012.
The Florida guy?
It's the one where he says there's something wrong in this country when gays can serve openly in the military, but our kids can't
yeah.
openly celebrate Christmas
Openly
or pray in
celebrate
school.
Christmas, yeah.
Oh my god.
Fuck. I also did want to talk about, like, well, when I was talking to this guy, I did kind of want to get into the criticism of, like, of the regular schmegular This Is America video for men. That's what we should call it, like perfume for men. Like the imagery, I know like a lot of people found kind of upsetting
Mm-hmm.
because, like, obviously the choir scene is evoking the Charleston shooting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was trying to say, so I can say it here when I think people will listen. instead of just this fucking stupid guy, that I think it was kind of obvious and like clearly upsetting. It's like, you know that Mel Brooks quote where he was like, I wouldn't lynch the black guy, I'd show him escaping it.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like you didn't have to do that because that's too much. You could have symbolized it, you could have evoked it, you could have done it in a different way that's like more images of black people being shot, which is obviously extremely like, it's traumatizing. It's re-traumatizing every time there's an image. I mean, I know that's the point of the video, but it's like, I mean, I think it's a bit. My comment
I think that kind of raises that kind of sounds like a similar question that I felt was being raised back last year when Wolfenstein 2 came out, and there was that weird discussion that I saw from like Waypoint, not weird discussion, that discussion I saw from like Waypoint and Polygon and some other like game journalist websites like that were like, do we need to make the Nazis this obviously evil? Like, do we need to take this abusive dad and have him make you shoot your dog? Because like that's just kind of hitting the nail on the head. But then the alternative argument is, well, I mean, you kind of, in a climate like this, you also have to make it as over the head as you possibly can, because there are people that don't respond to like subtle Nazis.
Yeah.
I'm not like trying to say that to like either like, you know, dissuade you or oust you. Just like that's kind of reminding me of that discussion.
Yeah, but I think especially the thing. And once again, I'm white, but. With just to clarify.
Hello. My name is Josh. 26. Voted for John McCain. White.
I'm not 26 for the record. I'll be 28 in 1 week.
God, you are old.
But I am. I know. I'm old and I'm very wise. So everyone, shut up and listen to what I have to say.
Grandpa.
Well, no. Actually, when I was originally watching the video, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, is it a good idea to show this imagery right now in today's climate? And then I thought, I'm white, so I'll let someone else tell me. But I think that's the difference between like the showing Nazis being evil and showing like black people being murdered is, you know, that's something that we're seeing to this day on the news. Like, still.
Yeah,
I mean, I am happy for the conversation about it, like, to be honest. I do think it is a conversation that needs to be had, but, like, you should be able to criticize something you enjoy.
For sure.
Like, I know I seem to bring up Wolfenstein, like, every single time I'm on this podcast.
Well, I did it this time, so don't blame yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, because there is something, I do like those games, but there is one thing that, like, really upsets me, and it's in the first game, there's a mission that's in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, you didn't need to do
that
this.
is, yeah.
Well, we get it, you know?
Yeah.
Just let me shoot Nazis for a second, you know? But it's important to show, like, horrific things. It's just, I think you don't always need to be completely on the nose. But yeah, you're right. The other side is, well, some people are not going to see it.
Yeah, if it's not as blatant as it possibly can be, there's, like, going to be a way. Like, there is... Barring, like, intellectual dishonesty, it is very hard to take this video in any other way than the message that was intended.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's kind of like a sliding scale. Like, you know, you make it a little bit less like. You make it a little bit less explicit. There's probably a way to make it like as explicit but less graphic. I don't know what that is because they don't pay me. Listen, if I knew what it was, I'd be making music videos for Childish Gambino and I would have left all you fuckers in the dust.
Yeah.
But I haven't quite figured that out yet.
Hire us.
Oh yeah. Can we talk about the analysis videos that This Is America has necessitated for some reason?
Oh my god!
I don't understand.
Did your friend make one of them? Not your friend, the guy you don't like. Did he make one of those videos where it's like
your beau,
your classmate,
my beau? Yeah, well,
your betrothed.
So he like made a video where he went through it frame by frame and was like, "Ooh,
all lives matter."
Here's where you say the part where the fucking it's about the cycle of gun violence in the United States of America.
If you pause at this frame, you can see the outline of his penis.
You can see that the pants are from the Confederate Army.
Like, in between flirting with inappropriate people, then yeah.
This is my dumbass character. I've discovered him. He's like the.
Are you like
he's
Lena Dunham and you're like, this is the delusional girl that I play
This-
on television?
This is the next character we'll have to execute with Brooks'
just an inexplicable
Brooks'
Cockney
misogyny.
accent.
Speaking of which, if you want to hear Brooks' misogynist character get executed, go to patreon.com/HKIPGTD. There is a audio post that you can view no matter if you've donated or not. I spent an hour on it. I'm very proud of it. I had to boot up Skyrim to actually get the fucking video.
I think all executions should be free.
Well, some
Absolutely.
Washington Post reporter FOIA'd it from us, so we were forced to release it, and now it's free to all you.
They were sitting on that story they were working on that story for 6 months, and we just tweeted it out.
Can I mention my favorite like deep cut theory or like interpretation from some of the videos that I've seen, which is
Always.
there's the one
America is actually the name of the horse that you see in the background.
it's when
It's actually all a reference to that horse in the background is actually a reference to the
Famous
Who did Dead or
horses in
Alive?
American history. I don't
Who did
really
the song
know
Dead or
any.
Alive?
it's all in this kid's head as he looks at a snow globe or whatever.
Who did the song Dead or Alive? Please help me out. Is that Bon Jovi?
It's Bon Jovi.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Anyway,
That's a steel horse. It's a motorcycle.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to Punch Up the Jam with...
there's a part where you can see someone
That
riding
song
on
would be so much. I know this is like cringe straight from a McElroy podcast. That song would be so much better if he was actually just riding a metal horse.
We have to let Linus talk.
Yes,
No.
let us go on.
Okay,
Cyborg horse for your cyborg pussy. Alright, sorry.
there's a part where you can see that there's like a guy on a horse riding by in the background, and a cop car is following him. And people are like, well, you see, this is a biblical reference because I looked, I think the quote is like, and I looked and behold a pale horse, and the rider and was death, and hell followed after him. So it's death on the pale horse, and hell following after him is the cop car. And I was like, man, people are getting really deep into this.
It's the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Like the Metallica song.
Like that video game. What's it called?
Guitar Hero Metallica.
No, what's that video game called? With the
Which
four horsemen.
what?
There's two of them.
Darksiders.
Yeah, that's it.
Red Dead
Darksiders.
Redemption. Undead Nightmare.
I like how much of this episode is us trying to remember the names of things.
There's
Every single episode.
gonna be a lot of waffling in this one.
Oh wow. I like
It's like
waffles.
HQ, but nobody wins.
What's the next topic? Do we want to talk about the thing that came out a couple of hours ago about our beloved Commander-in-Chief and his statement about the immigrants?
Why not? Do we?
Does anyone have the quote on hand, or do I need to go scroll through the chat to just grab it so I make sure I'm quoting it proper?
I'm going to look into the chat real quick.
I'll pull it up.
Every time I think that he can't get any more like openly, fucking racist, he just tops himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, so
Yep.
he was talking about the U.S. He said, we have the dumbest laws on immigration in the world. We're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these
Heartbreak.
people are. These aren't people. These are animals.
Do you know what? Last time I was on this show, same with Josh, like 10 minutes before we went on, the fucking P-tape happened. And
This is
then
like the
now-
opposite of that.
You guys need to be on more often.
Well, yeah, because we're the harbingers of fucking death.
Trump's dumbass shit.
I mean, he has part of that correct, which is the dumbest laws on immigration in the world. Like,
Yeah.
he feels the opposite way that I do, but like heartbreaking, the dumbest man you know just made
Yep.
a really good point.
I mean, I think the thing is, like, obviously every time you dehumanize someone by calling them an animal makes it so much easier to do horrible shit to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, another one. Cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always, like, hate to overstate things, but it really does feel like fascist rhetoric at a certain point. Like, where you're just saying,
Absolutely.
these people
Yeah.
aren't animals. We can kick them out of our... And it's what they do. It's, we detain them for committing no crime whatsoever for as long as we fucking want. and then send them wherever we want to. Like
that's what they do in like every war, is completely dehumanize the people they're killing, so it's easier for soldiers to kill them and torture them. You know?
It's like that Black Mirror episode.
Everything's just like that Black Mirror episode now.
Oh yeah, San Junipero.
If only I had my little red-headed girlfriend. And I
One
was
day.
dying.
There's still time.
Speaking of our commander and Yeeks,
I know. The thing about that episode of Black Mirror is that I know everyone has told me that it ends happy and it's a good episode worth watching. I still am terrified of lesbian bed death syndrome, even though I've been told from every source that it ends happy. I'm still terrified of it.
It's good.
I believe you, but also, like, I'm just, like, instilled, like, if there is a gay, there has to be a death. Like, even if there isn't,
I mean,
there has
technically
to be.
there is, but it's okay.
Fuck!
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Like, if I spoil it for you, then you'll probably watch it.
Yes! If you could just... Yes!
spoilers for Black Mirror.
San Junipero. Spoilers for San
Do
Junipero.
you
the
actually
episode that
want me to
everyone
spoil
saw.
it?
Yes, please, because
Okay.
I get so neurotic about lesbian bed death.
San Junipero is...
It is still lesbian bed death syndrome, but it's good.
Yes. Lesbian bed death syndrome, but they're in heaven scissoring the whole time.
I watched someone I follow on Twitter. They're up in heaven blowing each other's backs out. Someone I follow on Twitter at Lydfama, Lydfama, absolutely phenomenal artist. Recently posted her senior thesis at her art school, which is senior animation thesis thing. And it's about a girl and her ghost girlfriend, and like for the entire production cycle, apparently she was just like worrying to herself, like, is this lesbian bed death syndrome? If one of them was dead at the start of this, if one of them was already dead, does it count as lesbian bed death?
I mean, it's a subversion, isn't it?
It is.
I don't think I said in it on this show before. Now
I love when you say in
it.
it. I love when you say in it.
When it slips and my accent slips and you find out that I'm all common.
Oi, mister!
Oi, mister, you my dad, you me dad.
Oh no, he's back.
We haven't executed him yet.
What's the Cockney? What's his name?
Liam.
Eddie.
Sorry, well, I can't
What?
even hear it. Your accent is so thick.
Eddie.
Leave me alone. Every single episode I get fucking bullied.
No, not you. Linus
We're
is
bullying
accent.
Linus.
Liam.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Liam.
What
Liam
is
Grubb.
that? It's been bugging me for the last week. What is that one indecipherable British accent?
There's
Is it Geordie?
There's like
Is it
five.
Geordie?
The one you're
Is
thinking
Geordie-
of from Hot Fuzz is, I think it is West Country, because that's where they
Yeah.
are.
Yorkshire
And
is
then-
also extremely hard.
Does
be honest-
Geordie have a reputation for, like, indecipherability?
Yeah, have you ever seen
Yeah.
Geordie Shore?
It's like,
No.
oh, it's fantastic.
I fully recommend go fucking
It's so
go
good.
fucking on YouTube instead of watching Penn and Teller. Go watch Geordie Shore.
Instead of watching Family Guy funny moments.
It is Jersey Shore, but it's Geordie.
Worse.
It's like a bunch of
Wow.
They're so
That
bad.
sounds phenomenal.
Because drinking culture in the UK is like kind of extreme, obviously. And I think one of them fully like shat the bed one time.
Yes.
You remember that? You ever seen that clip from the reality show of like the girl in the jacuzzi just like shitting? She just like shits in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I think at least to Americans, like everything that isn't a London accent is pretty much indecipherable.
I mean,
That's fair.
Maybe.
there are
That's
some
fair.
pretty indecipherable
I feel
London
like
accents.
I understand what the character in Hot Fuzz is saying more times I watch, but I think it's just because I'm memorizing the script.
Cockney
It's a good movie.
isn't.
Yeah, Cockney is just like the really exaggerated, like, oh, I missed buggers and bums.
Cockney is Eliza Doolittle. It's fucking, oh,
like-
mister, we want
it's
to buy
like a
some
very-
flowers.
Dated Cockney. Like, I feel like Cockney
Apples and
now is
pears.
like chav, I guess. Would that be what Cockney is now? Like
no, Cockney's
Eggsy?
just Cockney.
Yeah.
You can be a chav of anywhere.
So I was just trying to find the clip from the reality show where the girl poops in the jacuzzi. It turns out not a reality show. YouTube says this video called Jacuzzi Poop, which and the description says, the description from May Play 56. Wow, I would like to be with her at this moment. Haha.
Oh,
Remember
boy.
when Lil Wayne was in that jacuzzi? And he had boobs.
Remember when Lenny Kravitz's dick came out on stage? I have seen Lenny Kravitz's dick and I'm not happy
Why
about
are
it.
you
talking
wearing
about?
a cock ring? Why? Like, was it? I mean,
Lenny Kravitz once did like a Slav squat on stage and his jeans ripped and his dick fell out.
Oh my god.
he was wearing a cock
That's so
ring,
powerful.
and like, why? I guess it must have just been jewel. He was wearing a little cock ring, which I'm assuming was
Lenny
only for like a
Kravitz
flaccid dick, because like,
Dick slip.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a push-up bra for a dick.
I guess. And it's
Are they gonna show? Are they gonna show me this video of his dick popping out?
You know, he was
So nice.
arrested for I think it was performing dentistry without a license, because he flew in dentists to like treat people. I can't remember where, but there wasn't like any like dentistry available, so he flew dentists in from the States to treat like his friends in it, and then as it progressed, just anyone who needed dental care who couldn't afford it, and he ended up being arrested for it. So he's super fucking cool for that.
He is cool. I just imagine being Zoe Kravitz. And then like your dad's dick falls out and then people ask you about it in an interview. I honestly think they'd just, be like, I'm done.
Someone in the chat is saying, it's sounding more and more like you just searched up and watched a clip of a girl shitting in a jacuzzi. And you know what? I think I did. I think I was, originally,
It's the one where, like,
gaslit myself into thinking it was from a reality show, but it turns out it was just a video that someone took that was probably submitted to like America's Funniest Home Videos or something. Back before Tom Bergeron came over and made that a fucking baby show. Back when they weren't afraid to show a girl pooping in a jacuzzi on television.
you know, it's too PC nowadays. No one wants to show a girl pooping in a jacuzzi.
Bob Saget would have shown me someone shitting in a jacuzzi. God, remember when Bob Saget hosted that show?
No.
Yeah, he did for a while. And then Tom Bergeron took over.
What does Bob Saget do? Is he an actor? Is he a
His
comedian?
shtick
Is he a
for a while.
host?
His shtick for a while was that he was a comedian with like, and his gimmick was like, "Oh, I'm the guy from fucking Full House, but I make the pee pee poo poo jokes. I make the dick and the fucking jokes."
Yeah, he was trying to be like the filthiest man alive.
Yeah. Okay, we've gotten so far off topic. This is ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
So
Politics.
Freddie
net
Mercury.
neutrality.
Or no? Do you want to do Freddie Mercury?
I was going to move Freddie Mercury to shoutouts.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And just like, I guess we can kind of move into shoutouts because I don't really have much else to say for the rest of these things. Like, I've got things to say, I just don't have like a long form thing planned out. So first up, net neutrality, a bill to preserve it has passed through the Senate, and currently I believe we are waiting for the House to approve it. 3 Republicans walked across party lines. These were Kennedy, Collins, and, who's the other one? Melissa, who gives a shit? So,
Welcome to the resistance, guys.
welcome to the resistance.
A
Welcome to the resistance,
G-pie
Kennedy.
retire bitch.
Kennedy, not that one.
Oh, not my boyfriend, the Kennedy.
Yeah, Allie, I feel like if you'd been born like 50 years earlier and in the States, like, you would have been the one who died at Chappaquiddick.
Oh my god!
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
You have the allure of like a Kennedy girl.
I've been told like a couple of times. Someone told me that they reminded me of someone from the 20s that I just acted.
You're a flapper. You're a flapper.
Yeah, I've been told that a couple of times. That I just have this aura of someone who like doesn't exist anymore. So
One of
maybe
a
I would have been a
kind.
Kennedy girl. I think I have.
It's really great that you managed to fabricate that persona for yourself, even though we do know that you are Lori over in North Dakota. But I think you've done a really good job of acting the part of this Kennedy girl.
This Kennedy
This
girl.
this 21st century Kennedy girl.
This Victorian London 21st century Kennedy girl, flapper, jazz singer. Who is she? I don't know. The only reason someone told me that is because I didn't use my phone that much during a party. And they were like, it's like you're from a different era. I was like, okay.
I'd never even heard of the Chappaquiddick incident until about 30 seconds ago.
Oh, really? You've never heard about Ted Kennedy killing someone?
No.
Not even when the movie came out?
He
movie?
killed someone.
Chappaquiddick.
The movie Chappaquiddick.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good movie, but I did not like the fact that it kind of made Ted Kennedy seem very much like a product of his abuse instead of his own piece of shit. Because, I mean, you can be both.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
You gotta lionize the Kennedys. Like, that's just what they have to do in America, is lionize the shit out of the Kennedys.
Yeah,
I just know almost nothing
that's kind
about
of the American
them.
thing with like the Kennedy curse or whatever. There's a YouTuber I really like called Kendall Ray who's put out a lot of videos about the Kennedys.
They're basically like the royal family of America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever Ted Kennedy comes up, I remember this time during like the quiz bowl in my high school where I may have told this story before. I just fucking love it. Where we lost points because my teammate buzzed in early on an answer where the answer was Ted Kennedy, but since he had died like 5 days earlier, she buzzed in and said Dead Kennedy, which was not the useful answer.
Oh, no.
Chappaquiddick Uber Alice.
Praxis.
Let's see what else. Remember that cop who didn't do anything at Parkland and got like everyone was yelling at him for it because he was like, or not, he wasn't a cop, he was like a school officer, and he had like a gun, and he was like there, and he was just kind of standing outside the Parkland incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He resigned, and he is making about $8,700 a month on his pension.
Well, he went through a lot.
Of not doing
how
anything.
do you even how do pensions even allow for giving people that much?
I don't know.
Like that's so much money.
That feels like that has to be more than he was making.
Oh yeah.
If anyone asked me how pensions work, I don't know.
I make currently for the next couple of weeks at least until this job runs out, I make a pretty respectable salary. That guy's making 3 times what I make a month on his pension. I want to be clear here. I worked for a couple of weeks, summer 2016. I worked a prevailing wage job, which if you don't know what that means, it just means like the pay is like fixed at a government level, and it's like stupid high. I was making $50 an hour doing hard labor in construction.
Jesus.
He's making about as much as I would have been making if I'd been doing that for a month.
Jeez.
And I was like fucking like, 90 degrees outside, like wearing a fucking long sleeve shirt, jeans, like a face mask, goggles, and just like taking a sledgehammer to some walls. I earned that $50 an hour.
You did. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
On the other hand, I get it. Like, I get why he didn't do anything. It's scary in there.
Yeah. But I mean, the other part is like, unfortunately, that is his job.
It very much is his job.
And it's...
Yep.
I mean, it's unfortunate that you need to have someone there. Sorry, I was trying to clear my throat and it was very bad time.
The accent almost got away from her for a second.
You had one job, Tarly.
It's just unfortunate that you need to have someone there to stop school shootings.
Yep. Let's see, what else? So, yeah, before we get into, like, the actual shout-outs, the het washing of the Freddie Mercury biopic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about this. Allie, I know it's not going to cover the fact that he had AIDS or in the film, HIV/AIDS in the film, so they're not tackling that, which is, I don't know, probably significant.
That's what he died of.
Yep.
Yeah, that's literally what he died of.
Like,
he did very much die of that.
Mm.
That's like saying you're making a JFK biopic and just leaving out the part where his head just does that and leaves a gaping hole in it.
Or his head just does that.
Het washing Freddie, it's like Freddie Mercury was one of like the most famously gay people ever.
He was extremely gay. You look at him.
It was
and
like
you're
Elton.
Yeah.
It was like Elton John level of like everybody knew that this guy was gay. It wasn't like, I don't know, some celebrity that they go, the producers are like, well, not everyone knew this, so maybe let's downplay that just so we're not shocking. It was like, no, Freddie Mercury could not possibly have been more openly gay. Like,
yeah, Well, I think it was like he was open about it, but like due to the time he couldn't be like, hi, I'm gay, but everyone knew.
But like everyone knows now.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the thing is, so like what happened basically, this is my insider tea. So
Oh yeah. Brew up a pot, Allie. Give me that good stuff.
yeah, this is just from, around whatever. So I heard that the original director was going to be Dexter Fletcher, who now took over from Bryan Singer. And he turned it down because they were going to downplay the gay thing, downplay the AIDS thing, and then Freddie was going to die halfway through the movie, and then the rest of the movie would just be about the band. Like, after.
Die of what? Are they just going to be like
he was just going to, he was going to
Freddie died on the way back to his home planet.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury died. Oh shit, of what?
Well, yeah.
Scene transition.
I heard something
Star
about
White.
how he was probably going to be the original one and he turned it down. I don't know how true that is, but that was going to be the original thing. So I don't know how much they played to that about, because like obviously the rest of the band is still alive and they have producer credits, I think, so they can be like, oh hey, we want the movie to be about us. And it's like, yeah, no one gives a shit about you, though.
Yeah. It's like,
The trailer makes it look very much like it's about him, though, so...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're going to market... I don't know. I'm hoping the film is mostly about Freddie, obviously. But it would be like... I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, who's a good front man, and then no one cares about the rest of the band.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Brendan Urie.
Yeah, like if they made a Panic at the Disco. It's like
I
they
really
made a My
only said
Chemical
that.
Romance
I only
movie.
said that to make Brooks angry.
More like Brendan Urin. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just like, so that's what I heard, is that the movie, or like I heard lots of rumors that it was going to be mostly about Queen after Freddie's death. So if it is, ugh. And then the trailer description says something about a life-threatening illness, not HIV/AIDS.
Oh boy. Well, I guess we'll see.
They're gonna retcon it so that Freddie Mercury died of like,
He got a
I don't
cold.
know, he like Freddie Mercury drank a thermometer and that's why it's called mercury poisoning.
But like, yeah.
Like, wait, so they named the metal in the thermometer after him?
Because
Yeah,
he
it didn't have
died.
it was just called Red Bubbly before that.
Well, no wonder he drank it. That sounds delicious.
This could just
Yeah,
be
I
a
drink it.
case of like, that thing people do where the trailers like completely misinterpret the movie, and you end up with a completely different idea of what the movie's going to be
the
about.
Kangaroo Jack, the Kangaroo Jack classic.
the Kangaroo Jack effect. So this could just be a Kangaroo Jack situation, and we'll all go see it, and it'll be like a perfectly fine biopic that it addresses all the things in his life.
when
fingers
was the last time
crossed.
that was done? When was the last time that was done intentionally? Because I can't, like, maybe like Inglourious Bastards, maybe.
I think like
Yeah.
a couple of movies with like major twists at the end do it. But like, what's going to be the major
Well,
twist?
I mean, versus like, completely offsetting like the completely not like, a twist recontextualizing the rest of the movie is different from like
yeah.
the movie just completely selling you on a completely different concept. It's like if you showed up on June 8th to watch Hereditary coming June 8th, by the way, we, they're sponsoring us this week.
I'm very excited
you-
for it.
It's like if you showed up on
we
June
gotta say the
8th to
tagline.
watch Evil runs in the family?
This ain't your mama's horror movie.
Oh wait, no, that's what it is. You're right.
Okay, we need to move on to the next topic because we were at an hour of recording. This
But
is going to be a long one.
hold on, what was the Kangaroo Jack thing?
The Kangaroo Jack thing was
Okay.
that there is a 2-minute dream sequence in the movie where where someone gets knocked out and they have a dream about Kangaroo Jack talking and rapping to them, and that was the only thing that they played during the commercials, giving you the impression that the entire movie was about a talking, rapping, backsassing kangaroo. And
It's
the
not?
poster it's not at all. It's about it's about two guys who are trying to like stop a kangaroo, like who are trying to stop a kangaroo that they are trying to sell for a lot of money. They are bad people, and the the kangaroo is not anthropomorphic or singing or rapping or anything
What?
except for that one dream
And
sequence.
Daddy Michael Shannon is in it.
What happens is they have money in a hoodie and they hit a kangaroo
Yes,
and they
that's what it
think
is, that's
they
what
kill
it
it.
is.
So they put the hoodie on the kangaroo with the money in it, and then it wakes up and hops away. So then they have to find the kangaroo because it
Holy
has
shit.
like their money in it.
And then this whole time, like, baby Michael Shannon is trying to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I have thought all this time that it was I thought for sure it was a movie about an anthropomorphic kangaroo up until
It isn't.
right now.
So did 6-year-old me.
Oh my
That's
God.
what we've all
We got-
before. Yeah.
A couple of the topics. Does anyone have anything to say about Eurovision?
I do.
All right, let's make it quick because
Okay, I
we don't
just
have a
want-
lot.
I mean, I think I mostly
You-
did it.
you- this is your short. This is your shorty, and Fur Affinity is my shorty this week.
Okay, so Eurovision is like Christmas to me, because I hate Christmas, and it's like ridiculous and silly and fun, and like the song that won this year is terrible, and it's Israel.
Was it the Israel one where they like did like the
The
very
chicken
funny
noises,
like
and then she's like dressed up like a Japanese person. Well, air quotation Japanese person, and there's like
boy.
cats waving, like the Chinese cat waving cats, and she says like he's a baka, and then she starts making chicken noises. It's a lot, and it like hit my every single synapse in my brain that causes pain fired off when I heard the song. So yeah, I'm a bit sad about Eurovision, but obviously every single year it gets political. Oh yeah, and then someone ran on stage during the UK one and said something about fascist journalists. I don't know. Eurovision's weird. Watch it.
So the other thing I want to do a quick shout out for is that Fur Affinity has updated their terms of service and their website rules and such, and they are now banning a lot of alt-right furries and also furries who like draw underage stuff, which really should have been happening from the start, but furries have a problem when it comes to banning inappropriate content. That's a story for a different time, and I say a different time, probably maybe sometime in the near future, because we are having someone from Barking Points Memo, very good podcast about furries, leftists. We're having one of them come on for a bonus episode to talk just about the furry fandom and politics. Anyways, back to this. And there is a massive outcry, apparently, because Roy Kalbeck, who is a sort of big-name furry, I guess. I'd never heard him before, but he's apparently big enough to have his own entry on WikiFur. He is apparently threatening a class action lawsuit against Fur Affinity for banning him for being a Nazi.
Okay.
Which is like, I think he'll have some real legal ground to stand on, because it's actually illegal for someone to deny you service for any reason whatsoever.
So true.
I was so tired. I was like, is it?
In America.
In America, anything is possible. You can die in a car accident by Ted Kennedy. I'm still not over that. I'm sorry.
So, you want to just get into questions?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, do look for that episode with the crossover with the Barking Points Memo, folks. I'm really excited about it, coming next week or the week after, probably. This question from Anonymous. What's that smell?
Isn't this a Quiplash question?
I mean, personally, it's probably like the boot they've been having me in. That's probably it. This question from Tumblr user Mike Dawson. When Donald Trump Pokemon goes and dies, will he be buried in a Club Fairfin? This question from Anonymous. Which host has the best yeeks? So let's answer that. It's a two-parter, but let's answer that one first.
I will not objectify my fellow hosts.
I will do so in a second. So I'm going to say there are a couple people who just come to mind immediately. Me, because I already had a pretty big ass, and then I started taking hormones, and it's widened my hips, so I got a fucking banging ass. Consider yourself lucky if you've ever seen it.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Linus, I've never seen your ass, but based on how chiseled the rest of you is, I'm sure it's a pleasure to look at.
It's flat as a pancake.
Oh no! I guess congratulations to me for earning the trophy of thickest podcast host.
I think I've got a pretty big ass.
That's true, you do.
Thank
We're
you.
all going to post our asses on the official Twitter, and then we'll have a vote.
This question. Second question. Which one would be the most likely to drink something nasty by accident? I think that's going to be also me 100% because if you put a cup in my hand and I'm thirsty enough, I will probably just slurp it down.
I've drunk something gross before. I had this can of Fanta in my room that I left out for ages and it grew mold and I accidentally drank it and I think I cried. That was my fault. Sorry. You and I are going to have a competition for biggest ass and grossest drinker.
It's like that scene from Bob's Burgers where he just hands Teddy a piece of sponge and Teddy just eats it without him death.
Allie, DM me later. We'll sort this out.
One time I was at the vet's office and there was just a mug of coffee sitting there.
Stop. Edit that out. Edit that out.
All right, next question.
This question from Anonymous. Any opinions on the U.S. Senate race in Texas between Horny Boy Ted and, quote, bring back the draft, Beto O'Rourke? Anyone know anything about this besides guy's name is Beto?
I've heard some things. Is Ted the person who, someone said something about a candidate wanting to fuck their daughter's boyfriend?
What?
Or whatever. I have no idea. I just saw that sentence somewhere.
Ted is time for a little porno-rooney.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They think that I'm Ted Cruz.
This is not what I'm thinking of.
They think that I'm Ted Cruz. But bitch.
But bitch, I'm Beto. Bitch, I'm Beto with that tool.
Horny Ted, the Zodiac Killer.
Anonymous asks, hello, HKRPGTD. What do you think of that law that was just passed in South Carolina that classifies criticism of Israel in any public school as anti-Semitism? Thanks.
Ooh.
Bad? I'm just going to say bad and move on to the next question.
Sounds very bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like we're getting arrested like the end of Seinfeld if we're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Happy 20th anniversary to the finale, by the way. What? I turned 20 years old yesterday.
It's just such a funny thing to shout out. Seinfeld of all.
Listen, Twitter had a moment for it, so it had to be important.
All right.
Okay. This question from Tumblr user, literally a fat hairy lesbian. Phenomenal Tumblr name, by the way. I feel like I need to shout that out every time I read it because this person sends questions to all of my podcasts. I'm trying to convince my other coworkers to unionize since it went over well in Oregon at that one burger chain. We are a donut shop chain in Texas, but my coworkers seem to be leftist, and most of us are LGBTQ plus. How do I help convince the other donut lesbians to not get screwed over by the company and unionize? Convince them to start, instead of selling donuts, convince them to start selling roses and then just go from there.
We had someone come into the donut store that I work in and talk about unions, and do
the unions have a policy that would stop you from driving your car in circles?
I mean, it probably would, but I think
Linus, I need to say I haven't had a chance to speak with you person to person since then. That is the wildest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I lost my mind when I heard that.
It's a real thing. Anyway. We had someone come in to talk about unions, and, we talked about it. It was such a great moment because, our manager came over and was, talking shit about unions, and we were all like, yeah. And then the second they walked away, we were all like, yeah, we should fucking unionize. But our take on it was that, it's probably not, a super good idea for just the workers of one store to unionize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gotta be across the chain.
And I was like, it's gotta be, there should be a union for, all fast food workers. Maybe across a chain, maybe even across, the service. There could be, a huge union that's for, fast food service people. So that would be my take on it, is, yeah, it is kind of risky and dodgy to try to start a union just in your store when you're all extremely replaceable.
Is it dodgy?
It's got not.
It's dodgy. Oi, mister.
You me donut worker.
Anyway, yeah, Union's good, but also don't screw yourself over because you are gonna need a little bit of backing from a lot of people before you can start one.
Yeah, I think talk to other unions in your area or in the same kind of field that you're in to get advice. And yeah, that's my advice.
There's probably a lot of resources online that aren't us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. We are very bad people. We are very bad people to ask.
What do you guys think is the most lesbian dessert? This isn't a question that we got. It's a question I'm asking you right now.
I think there's a pretty cut and dry answer to this, and it's ladyfingers.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me
What
there.
about a tiramisu?
Unless okay, if Ladyfingers didn't exist, I think tiramisu would be up
Well,
there.
you use ladyfingers in a tiramisu.
Ooh,
Yeah,
you're right.
that's true.
And then cream and chocolate and coffee. All things lesbians like.
What about creme brulee?
I
No,
think creme
what
brulee
about,
is
like-
bisexual.
Yeah,
Creme
you're
brulee
right.
is like artsy bisexual with a bisexual
What
haircut.
what about mousse?
Ooh,
What about moose?
Is that just furries?
I was going to say pansexual. I was going to say someone who's like, I don't believe in labels, moose.
And bear claws are gay.
Yes.
Yes.
Bear claws are super gay.
What's a straight dessert? The cheese board.
Neapolitan ice cream.
Yes, Neapolitan. Cornetto.
What? Cornettos are... no, the cornettos are kind of gross.
So that's gonna do it for questions. That's actually gonna do it for this episode. Besides Lightbringers, so let's go around the table, do our Lightbringers.
I've got one.
Sure.
My Lightbringer this week is the cancellation and almost immediate renewal of the good show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And like, as much as like we in this podcast clown on it for being like soft propaganda, it is also like probably one of the most like woke shows on TV. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like multiple instances of like Jake Peralta, played by Andy Samberg, like just not calling out transphobia, but I think someone says like, oh, it's just like Ace Ventura, and he's like, yeah, great movie, a classic, and it only gets overtly transphobic at the end, so that's great. So it's like, it's got like that air of like the characters are all just like extremely good, and I like to pretend that it's in a fantasy world where like cops are good, and that kind of gets me through it. So, and recently it was like canceled, and
then 6
Twitter
hours later, NBC picked it
lost
up.
its mind. Like every celebrity I follow on Twitter was like tweeting about renewing it, and like, yeah, it was 31 hours later, NBC picked it up for another season.
Yeah, I
So
do
it
want
is
to.
now.
Yeah, before we get yelled at for being like centrist liberals, I want to say I understand why people don't like it too. Like, I watch it, but I understand why people like
extreme.
are
It's,
not
it's totally
fans.
valid. It's totally valid to not.
I wasn't like
Can I
wetting
tell
my
my good
pants
joke?
over it getting canceled, but
Hold on,
I do
Allie,
enjoy
I just
it.
want to. I just want to say my quick thing, and then Allie, you can tell your good joke. I am a little bit wary about this because I can't think of too many like serialized sitcoms that like do good in this. Like, no one's ever been like, oh man, 5th season of Community, that's the best one.
it's true.
But Allie, tell your joke.
Okay, my joke is, cool show, still propaganda.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Allie, what you got this week?
So mine, I couldn't really think of anything I've done like this week, but obviously I've had a lot of time off. And a while ago, I replayed Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines,
Oh my god.
which is one of my favorite games. I'm a huge vampire bitch, always have been. So I really like it. I like the way that you can really play the game how you want. Obviously, download the fucking unofficial patch. My goodness. But it's just, I feel like it's really open-ended for a video game. Most like video game RPGs are very linear, like it is, but you do have a lot more options. And I just think the world is really well done, and it's very creative. I really want to play the tabletop version, but I don't have any friends. And yeah,
Isn't there a LARP version? My brother LARPs Vampire the Masquerade, I'm pretty sure.
that would be fun, I guess.
Yeah, like that was all he was doing.
The way you said "I guess" is the most cutting thing I've ever heard.
That's like all my brother was doing for like a year is like Vampire the Masquerade LARP.
That sounds fun, I guess. Like, I can just imagine her doing like the wrist going limp dismissal. Like, I guess.
But all right, first of
I
all,
suppose.
my wrists are always limp. Don't get it twisted. I actually had a teacher tell me off because my wrists were too limp.
Jesus.
She was like, straighten up your wrists. And I was like, I can't. And, well, no, I just think it's just because laughing, I'm like, for some reason everyone has this weird stigma about laughing. And then I'm just like, well, I mean, I do like acting. It's just the same thing. So, I don't know what I said, I guess.
It's
think
just
I'm
acting in public.
Yeah, I don't like the in public part, I think.
So my Lightbringer this week is, so this is kind of a weird technicality because, the extended Lightbringers we put up on Patreon are supposed to be long form versions of things that we have made Lightbringers on the podcast. And I realized after putting out the most recent one that I have not actually made a Lightbringer of it. I just kind of wanted to write about it. So my Lightbringer this week is the writings of one Ava Problems online. Ava, you may know, as Ono Problems on Twitter or Tumblr. Trans woman, very prolific, very funny. You've probably seen a tweet or two of hers at the very least. She's written two major, if you know her writing at all, you've heard of her two Medium articles, either, yes, Dark Moon Gwendolyn is a trans woman, no you can't, or sorry, Dark Sun Gwendolyn is a trans woman, no you can't have her, or, Your Asshole Dad's Castle is back again. The former is just a dissertation about the character Dark Sun Gwendolyn from Dark Souls, and it's phenomenal talk about why that character is a trans woman despite what the translation and rabid fan community has declared otherwise, because holy shit, that character is trans as hell. But, I like, every time I talked about, Your Asshole Dad's Castle is back again, I would have to seek out the link, and then I would anytime someone asked me for a link, I would seek it out, and then take 20 minutes to get it to them, because I would just reread it again. It just, like, sucks me in, because the way she just manages to flip between comedic and serious writing is just, it's phenomenal. Your Asshole Dad's Castle is back again is the retelling of the story of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, to be about Alucard realizing she's a girl and beating the shit out of her asshole transphobic dad Dracula, and it fucking owns. There is a paragraph in there where when Alucard, obtains the mist power-up, and it makes me cry every single time I read it. So go check out Ava's writing. She's written some other stuff that I'm not going to recommend here because I'm trying to keep this recommendation PG-13. But check her out on Archive of Our Own.
Has anyone done God of War yet? Do you remember?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then, my Lightbringer...
No one else plays video games in this chat.
I really want to play it.
Yeah, my Lightbringer is God of War. I'm not that far into it, to be honest, but it's pretty incredible. First off, it has like some of the best just direction I've ever seen. It really looks and feels exactly like a movie. Like you'll move in and out of cutscenes, but they're not really cutscenes. It's just that you lose control, like your controller stops working for, a minute or whatever while people talk or while your character moves around. And but the best part about it is obviously everyone's been talking about this, but the relationship between the dad and the son, and how it goes from this being this game that's just about like hypermasculinity and pure rage and just that completely taking over your life, to like he's now a dad and like he actually has a lot to learn, and he's not like great at it obviously, but he's just like doing his best, and his son is kind of teaching him like how to actually have emotions and compassion. And it's really wild, and it like gets into violence and how that actually like messes with your brain, and not killing just for the sake of killing. Which like, who would have ever thought that God of War of all series would go there?
There's a mini game in God of War 2 where you like fuck some like giant titted women. Like,
isn't it like
remember
exactly?
Yeah, like it's like these two women with just ridiculous boobs. And the Kratos gets into a jacuzzi with them, and then it pans away, and you get like button prompts.
You quick time it,
and then you hit the button, and he goes, "Ah!" And like
he gets into a jacuzzi with them, and then one of them shits himself.
Thank you. So for starters, we would like to say a quick thank you to all of our patrons. If you'd like to support the show, patreon.com/HKIPGTD is where you can do so. Just $1 a month gets you access to all the bonus content, pre-shows, post-shows, and the fucking like any fucking Lightbringers. That's the word. At $5 a month, you get a special shout out and a user status in the Discord, and at $10 a month, you get to listen live. You get all the other stuff, and you get to listen live as we record the show, as we have 5 people doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, folks.
And
Hi.
my new microphone, my new Blue Yeti, was bought by Patreon money. So listen to this. Potent potables.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. So $10, $5 a month, we shout you out at the end of each episode. Thank you, as always, to Roan Berg, Star Asterism, Lost in Foundation, Paige Messer, Alex Schaup, Nick Jagged, David Besser, Helga K, Delaney Fritz, 1-800-RU-SLAPPIN', M. Chambers, Kadeho Jones, Harry Tomlinson, Dijon A's, Jordan Hagen, Charlotte Warmington, Pregnant Seinfeld, Benjamin King. God damn it! I've made every other time I've had to read that name. I managed to get through it. Pregnant Seinfeld, Benjamin Kingston Faria, Scout Shiro, Petaz, Evan, Lowe, Brett Houts, Stephanie Ruff, Ollie Anders, and Ellen Nordhog. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
If you want to, thank you as always to the Taxpayers for our intro song, The Evil Men, off of the album Cold Hearted Town. Song fucking slaps. Thank you to, I just want to shout out again the person who did our cover art, our new album art. Thank you to Dr. A on our server. It looks fucking awesome. And then if you want to check us out elsewhere, you can see us on Twitter at HKIPGTD, HKIPGTD on Tumblr, HKIPGTD pretty much everywhere, and even on Reddit. Thank you to Bisexual Punch Party for running that Reddit for us. If you want to check me out, I can be found on... Oh yeah, and like I said earlier, check out the Patreon for our latest Lightbringer, which is one that I wrote about the writings of Ava Problems. I thought I did a pretty good job of it, because I've been liking to shake the rust off my writing. So if you want to check me out, at Gayest Lulu on Twitter or chiesatanakas.tumblr.com. You can check out my sister podcast, or not my sister podcast, they're not related to this one whatsoever. God, I would never staple those podcasts to this one. Fear Baiting, which is a horror movie podcast, and The Wonder Years, which is an Animorphs rereading podcast. And let me tell you folks, we're getting back to the books, and the books are fucking good as hell.
Nice.
Anyways, that's my 10 minutes of talking at the end of the episode. I think I got everything.
Linus, where can people find you?
Sorry. I'm Linus. I'm Linus Kloss on Twitter. That's pretty much the only social media place where I'm active, other than on Discord. I have a Tumblr, but I never use it. I have Facebook, but I never use it. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and see me occasionally try to make jokes, then you can do that.
I just hit myself with my glasses with my mic cable. I am Tumblr user Dork Phoenix if you want to see me make sex jokes about Michael Shannon.
I'm Venusaurphobia on Tumblr and Twig Wrists on Twitter.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, folks. Not a threat.
Just a fact.
We'll see you again next week, and until then...
Memento Pokemori.
Pokemori.
Memento Pokemori.
Oi, mister, you Memori!
Which we used to rely